Hi there guys, I hope you are having a good day. Put the kettle on and make yourself a cup of tea or coffee if you would prefer, and let's talk some boxing. Now, let's talk about the welterweights because we have Amir Khan and Kell Brook being talked about. Amir Khan explained that Kell Brook would not make it past 6 rounds if he were to take that fight. So there is more smoke about that fight now. Maybe that fight could actually happen. And also we have a Conor Benn fighting. It's fight week for him against Samuel Vargas. That is going to be a very interesting fight to gauge where Conor Benn is, because it is interesting the route that Conor Benn is taking with regards to his world title opportunity. Maybe in a couple years time. He's nowhere near ready for that yet, but he is having step-ups towards that. No European route, no British route, just almost straight for a world title. Interesting route to take, and he does need 5 or 6 more fights before he can start going into eliminators with the likes of Sean Porter. I mean, even 5 or 6 more fights might not be enough because of his experience in the sport, and he needs time to build, and this Vargas fight is very important to that. Can he beat someone like Vargas? I believe that he definitely can. He said in an interview quite recently that he's going in there looking for the KO. He's going in there looking to dish him out. So he is going to make it exciting, and that is very important with Conor Benn because he does bring that value for money. So it's going to be an exciting fight, but Amir Khan has stepped in the ring with Samuel Vargas, and he explained how difficult this guy is and how tough he is as well. Even when he looks down and out, when he was dropped by Amir Khan, I believe he was dropped twice. The second time Vargas did complain, but I do believe that the ref actually counted him. So Khan dropped him twice, and each time he got up and he was able to continue. There were times when Vargas was backed up and hurt, but still managed to continue, even dropped Amir Khan and was backing Amir Khan up. So he's a tough guy, and Conor Benn also a tough guy. He's going in there to look to dish out punishment. Vargas will look to do the same. So we are in for a great fight, and it will be interesting to see how Conor Benn adjusts, because he has that side to him, of course, where he can fight, he can get stuck in. But what happens when there is a skillful fighter, experienced as well, who can adjust also and change things if they are not working, to be tough? So what happens when that toughness and power doesn't work with Conor Benn? What does he do then? That is what I'm interested to see with Conor Benn, to see where he is, to gauge him in this fight. I mean, Conor Benn recently said, do not question his ability. He would take Amir Khan or Kell Brook after this Vargas fight. So he needs to beat Vargas in stunning fashion to warrant having that fight. I'm not sure whether Amir Khan or Kell Brook is going to be interested in Conor Benn, a young challenger coming through, a prospect essentially at the moment. I'm not entirely sure if they are going to be interested, but that ability that he is talking about, he must show it in this fight with Vargas, especially if he wants to be in talks with Amir Khan or Kell Brook for his next fight. Let's see how he gets on at the weekend. Then we can start to see where Conor Benn is, and perhaps if he can challenge those guys just yet. Again, I see those guys more likely fighting one another than Conor Benn. I don't think either of them are going to want to fight a prospect. There's not a lot in it for them. It's probably going to be a big money fight because Conor Benn has the name, partly because of his dad, but he's built some of it as well. Let's give him credit for that. He hasn't just lived off his father's name, he has also built his own name, and he's an exciting fighter, and he's showing a lot more than maybe in his first couple of fights we believed he could go on to do. He has surprised people again and again, so he has built some of this himself. Let's give him some credit for that. So he would be a big name, and Amir Khan, Kell Brook, big name in the UK, so that would sell, but I'm just not seeing the angle for Amir Khan or Kell Brook. I believe the angle for them is to actually fight one another, and I'm more hopeful now of this fight happening, purely because neither of them have any other option. I mean, what are they going to do? If they continue, who can they fight? Otherwise, they may as well just retire. Kell Brook has fought Errol Spence and Terence Crawford, and he has lost, been stopped within the distance, and he ain't getting a Nugas fight. I don't see that happening, to be honest. Manny Pacquiao looking to fight Terence Crawford. Sean Porter is around there, but what does he really get out of that fight? And Keith Thurman, good fight, but again, what does he really get out of it? I mean, even if he gets an opportunity to fight one of the champions, he's fought both of them and been defeated. So you have to wonder, what is motivating Kell Brook to take a fight like that? With Amir Khan, it's a big fight in the UK, it's a grudge match, it's something that everyone has always wanted to see. So there's a different angle for that. Amir Khan, again, he's fought Terence Crawford, he got defeated. He's not going to get an Errol Spence fight, he's not going to get Anuga's fight, all the others as well. Same reason for Amir Khan. So it seems like neither of them have another option if they want to stay in the sport. The only option, really, is to fight one another. That is why I see it happening now, even though it hasn't before. There have been so many opportunities to make this fight, and it's gone at the wayside. But at this point, I don't see them fighting anyone else other than one another. Big question is, are we still interested? Do we want to see this fight after it should have been made, what, 6 years ago? There have been many opportunities, yet both of them have kind of decided, nah, don't want to take that fight. I would say more Amir Khan has done that, and that's no disrespect. I'm not trying to big up Kell Brook because I like them equally, but I'm just thinking that Amir Khan has been the one who didn't want the fight more so than Kell Brook. That's not just down to avoiding him, that's down to also not wanting to give him the opportunity when he felt he was the bigger name. I remember an interview when Amir Khan was building up to fight Canelo, and Virgil Hunter, his trainer at the time, explained that Kell Brook needed to earn the Amir Khan fight, and that was at the point when Kell Brook was IBF welterweight champion, and he was saying that he needed to do something in the sport to ensure that he was capable and that he would warrant a fight with Amir Khan. He was actually saying that, and he said, I don't expect him to fight a big name, I expect him to fight another mandatory, like Jojo Dan. So that was the deal with Amir Khan not wanting to fight Kell Brook back then. Now though, things are different, and I believe the fight could be made. Again though, do we really want to see it? I mean, every time it comes up I think, nah, I'm not interested in that. They could have made it before when they were in their primes. Now they are past it, they want to fight, and they want to take some of our money and make it a big pay-per-view event. Are they trying to spin it that way? But then when you think about it, what the fight could actually be, I mean, the event itself, the build-up, and the fight itself. So I don't know about you guys, but to start with, I think that I don't want to see this fight when they talk about it again and again, but it never happens. It was supposed to happen in 2018 when Amir Khan signed a 3-fight deal with Matchroom. It was supposed to be a Philo Greco fight, then a Samuel Vargas fight, then the big one, then Kell Brook, and he went and fought Terence Crawford, not ducking Kell Brook because Terence Crawford is a big fight, but still, that one didn't happen. But then after a while, when they talk about it and when the fight could actually happen, I start to think, you know what, I want to see this fight because I'm intrigued. I want to know what would happen if these two stepped in the ring. Then maybe we could see this fight, maybe it would be a good idea, but they need to make it happen instead of just talking about it continuously and the fight not happening. I do see it being more plausible this time around though because of what I explained earlier in the video. Because if the fight doesn't happen, then we are always going to be wondering, so why not? Let's just see the fight, and if Amir Khan believes he can stop Kell Brook in 6 rounds, go ahead, give it a go, and let's see it in the ring. Kell Brook will obviously have something to say about that. Guys, anyway, what are your thoughts on this? Pick your favourite subject and leave your thoughts in the comments below. Also leave a like and grab that subscribe button. Thanks guys.